Hi, family. One of the advantages of getting old is that you just don't care how you look. That really is it's a great advantage, and one I wish I'd learned a lot sooner in life. So I'm sitting here on my sun porch this morning. It's a Sunday morning as I record this, and in my robe and PJs, listening to the wind chimes, and can hear I heard geese. Lots of geese fly over a little while ago, coming home. It's early spring. And the birds and night. I love, it's my favorite place here actually in this home. Anyway, this obviously isn't about optimization. I'm not going to to keep any of that in mind for this episode. So it just means that this episode isn't going to go anywhere, and that's okay. I just need to express how I feel. Really, this has been a lot of hard work. Yesterday was rough. I think if there's any message at all this morning to anyone listening, it's that recovery, it doesn't matter. I don't care what anyone tells you. I mean, let me clarify that. If someone has been in recovery for a really long time and they say something to the effect of, once you've been on this path for a while, things get easier, your life does straighten out. But, and it's a big effing but, I don't know that straighten out is the right word, at least not for those of us who have never found peace, never found our way back to normal, or whatever that is. So my son's wife got married yesterday for the third time in some exotic location in Mexico. Now, under normal circumstances, if your son gets married again, or your son's ex-wife, that's the issue, you see. If your son's wife gets married again, you wouldn't even think about it, right? I mean, if it was normal. But you see, this is not normal. My son took his own life. And his wife, well, her actions were deadly. And they were not intentional, of course. Of course they weren't intentional. The rub for me has been, and I didn't even know before my great-grandson was born on November 17th. I hadn't been to this woman's social media forums in a long time, and then I went there, and then I saw the richest woman in Las Vegas, the most famous. Clearly that's the goal. Clearly that has always been the goal. And I've given great thought to my intent in having put out the episode that I just did about my son's story and how he got into the wrong tribe. Because intent is all that matters, you see. In the end, the only thing that matters is intent. Whenever I consider any behavior that anyone has shown, I always want to know what was the intent. And clearly the intent in my son's wife's world, because you see, they were never divorced. the only intent in her world is to pretend her marriage to him didn't happen. And I'll tell you how I know that. If you go to her page, Jillian Bachelor, if you go to that page, you'll see that under education, the Facebook page, under education it says UNLV 2004. Now, if you were just to look at that, as her 8,000 followers do, you would assume, and rightfully so, that she graduated from UNLV in 2004. That would be an easy path to go down, right? Looking at that. But you see, that's not the case. My son took his life in July of 2004, July 13th. And so Jillian, in putting that on her page, her life before 2004, one would assume would be a college education. She'd be aspiring to one, correct? And of course, since she graduated high school not long before that, no questions would be raised. Jillian did not graduate from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. She perhaps took a few courses there. That is entirely possible. But that would be the extent of it. So that is what I'm talking about when I speak about intent. And so when I thought to myself, why is it so important to put this out there, this story? And first foremost, ahead of the pack under any other reason, motive, intent, would be my son deserves to have his story told. He waited 21 years to have this story told. And as far as Jillian goes, I would just like to just once, see her genuinely, authentically care and not pretend this never happened, and then go out there and project to the world an image that you are a kind, generous, compassionate, understanding human being. So I guess if Jillian can evolve from this, I guess that would be all I would really want from her. I don't believe I'd ever care to speak with her again or connect with her again, ever. But I don't wish her ill will. I don't. My son loved her. He loved her deeply. So, yesterday, it was a heavy day. It was the day she was getting married, like I said, for the third time in Mexico, in this exotic, expensive, and there will be no doubt, a production that shares that experience with the world. And so it was like being underwater all day. It was. I spent the day moving slowly. That is actually one tool I've learned in recovery, is to move slowly, physically move slower. And I went to the grocery store and I just needed to get out for a little bit. And then I came back and I sorted through photographs. It's really among the last things I have left to make sure that they're in order. So when I'm gone, there won't be much to clean up or throw away or organize or burn. Listen, straight up, I don't give a fuck who you are and how great your recovery is. Some moments are just gonna suck. They just are. This channel is a lifeline for me. It is. I know it is, because it's a way that I can express my truth. And I vowed to do it as much as possible in the language of love. It's easier said than done in some cases, but I'm trying. It's interesting. You hear depression is anger turned inside out, and there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that. I think it's probably why I say the F word so much now. I never used to say it. Really, I remember the first time my daughter ever heard me say it, she was shocked. Shocked. I say it a lot now. So anyway, recovery sometimes is just trying to get to the next day. And I did put meetings on in the background. I even spoke at one, which I rarely do online. Here I did speak at one. So I did use the tools, you see. But that doesn't mean it solved the destruction of my family. Thanks for watching.